Hello, welcome to Kids Corner. It's Shirley and Sir Winston here, and today we're going to make something different, an animal that crawls under the sea rather than on land. And you can have a couple of hints. You can look at the pin that's on my shirt or what Winston is holding. And that's right, we're going to make a lobster. And to do that, what are you going to need? Well, a pencil and a razor come in handy. Crayons, pencil crayons, marker. In this case, I'm going to need red and black, some scrap paper, or some, you'll need kind of either cardboard or maybe, if you're lucky, construction paper, clothespins, small scissors, glue, and of course, a toilet paper roll. And you're going to need to check to see that all the toilet paper is off. Now, a lobster kind of comes in many colors. When you fish it out of the sea, it's, as you can see in the picture, kind of a mixture of green and orange. When it's ready to eat, it's bright red. And sometimes, when it comes out of the sea, every now and then, there's a blue lobster. Today, we're going to make a red lobster. And so to save time, what I did was I took a toilet paper roll and painted it red. Now, I'm going to talk about the other pieces as well. A lobster has two claws, and so what I did was I drew a pattern for a claw. And this is where the scrap piece of paper can come in handy, is that you can practice what it would look like, cut it out, and put it up against your body of your lobster to see that it works well. But a lobster has almost like two knuckles and then a claw, and I've put the claw kind of going around like this so that I think it looks better. And a lobster also has 8 legs. And so what I did was I created a pattern. There's 4 legs each side, and they sort of curve up a little. So how I made the pattern was I had laid down the toilet paper roll on my scrap paper, made a little mark on each side to see how wide it would be, because we need the legs to stick out past that. And then I actually cut a piece of it, folded it in half, and then drew 4 legs out. Now you need to leave a space where it would come in and cut it out, and that way I have 8 legs roughly in the same place. And I use this as a pattern to trace out, but it enabled me to put it there and check to see that I could see the legs past the body. So I would suggest that you try it with a scrap piece of paper, and when you're happy with the results, if you're using red construction paper, trace the pattern and cut it out, or if you're going to color or paint it, trace the pattern out on some cardboard, because you want something that's a little stronger than a regular piece of paper, and color or paint it. And there's 2 other things of the lobster, and that's the antenna. And just cut 2 long skinny pieces, either of the construction paper or cardboard, and paint them. Now I've already done this, so we can put the lobster together. Now, if you look at the top of a lobster, his head sort of comes to a point. And this is how we're going to do it, and where we're going to use our clothespins. So you're going to take, and I kind of did this actually before I painted it, take your toilet paper roll, you're going to press in on either side and fold it together. So when you think you're happy with it, what we're going to do is we're going to take our glue and we're going to put it at the top. So as you can see, putting it here. And then we're going to take our two antennae and we're going to put those in between the two. And we need to hold it down so the glue will stick. And this is where our clothespins come in, or some other clamp. And now we're going to have to leave it a few minutes for it to dry. Well, you need to show some patience when doing this. I checked it a few minutes ago when I didn't wait long enough, so I had to re-glue it again. So let's see what happens now when I take off the clothespins. I think we've waited long enough now. So let's put the rest of it together, and maybe we'll start with the claws. Now, when we put on our claws, what we need to pay attention to is we have the claws going in opposite directions so that they're coming in towards the center. We don't want our claws to be kind of going the same way. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to stick the claws on the back of the lobster. So I've got a claw there, and I've put a bit of glue on the other claw. And before you put on a bit of glue, check to see which way it's going and look at it and put it so that it comes out in about the same space. And you're going to have to hold it a couple of seconds just for the glue to finish drying. Okay, we're going to put that down, and we're going to put glue in the center of the legs. We're not going to put it all the way on the solid part because our lobster is a bit curved, and so it's hard to stick. And again, we're going to put it on the back, and we'll hold it up to see that it's roughly centered and that we've got it down below the claws. Hold it in place for a couple of seconds. Now, I always think of the lobster as having kind of beady little eyes, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take a black marker. I'm going to pick up my lobster, and his eyes are right near the top of his head, and I'm just going to make 2 circles. Try to make them the same size. And there we are with our lobster. Shall we have a little prayer together? If you could bow your heads and repeat after me. Loving God, thank you for the people who take care of us. Help us to be kind to others and look after your world. Amen. And we'll see you next time at Kids Corner.